Whoa, there I am. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Xbox Talks. I don't know what number this is, but we're just going to go with it. It's been a little while since we talked. I think last time we caught up was just after the Video Game Awards. Lots of big news came out of there, and we thought things would be a little slower, maybe a little less interesting, but we've got actually some more big news coming out over the last few days. So if you're not familiar with Xbox Talks, this show actually started about 3 or 4 years ago now. We started before the Activision Blizzard King saga as a client on Reddit. This podcast is centered around the subreddit our Xbox and the Xbox community on Reddit, where we think you find the latest news and discussion. And it's just a great one-stop source if you want to figure out the latest details or latest events happening around a subject that you love. In this case, for us, it's gaming and Xbox, which if you clicked on this podcast, you're probably sharing the same interest as we do. So without further ado, and we'll kind of get going here. I will mention that the co-hosts, the Kevin and Mikey and Ivan and Anthony, they will be joining me again. So this won't be solo every week. This won't just be me yapping your ear off. We'll have some differing opinions and thankfully some people to correct me if I misspeak. I try to stay atop of everything, but it can get complicated, especially when you get into really detailed stories. We're going to kick things off. Let's do this, right? The top story today, right now at the time of this podcast, is kind of interesting. It looks like the Xbox Series X and Black Ops 6 bundles are out in the wild in Japan. This is a retail package that includes the Series X and Black Ops 6. And if you're watching on video, you can take a look at it with us. It's pretty cool looking. I'll blow it up here, and it's got just the Black Ops 6 game cover featured on the front of the box. Some Japanese details, language, marking on the boxes, I should say. I'm not fluent. I can't read it for you, unfortunately, but there's a whole stack of them here, and let's see what you guys are saying about this. I think it's exciting. We hear a lot of things about, Xbox is not supported here and there, and we can't find their systems. We saw many posts and comments this week about people in Europe having a hard time finding a console in stock, and that kind of feeds into a lot of the doom and gloom that's been happening the last few weeks. I know if you are plugged in, as I like to say, if you watch the news every day concerning Xbox, you can know that it's a bit of a wild ride sometimes. Really dramatic takes one way or the other. Things are super positive. Things are really, really negative. And as a community, I think that we might be, a little unstable. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that we are passionate about the games we play and how we play them. And when things look like they're changing, if you change anything, there's always going to be resistance to that because people enjoy things as they have them. And some people start getting scared. I'm not scared. I love everything that's happening. And when we get the other guys back up here, I would love to discuss how they feel about it. And we can read your comments as well. You can reach us at Xbox on Reddit at gmail.com. Send us thoughts about the show. Maybe you want to co-host someday. We will bring up users as long as you're a part of the community. We would love to hear your opinions, and you can join us for one of these little 30-minute segments. So go into the comment section about those Japanese Xboxes. They should have bundled Indiana Jones. That's an interesting take from Deep Fried Bussy. They want that microtransaction money was the reply, which, it's we're gamers, right? We know that they're after the dollars in the end, so it might not be that off base, even if it's a little cynical. Japan will never be pro Xbox. It's not exactly shunned, but they're PlayStation, Nintendo, PC players mainly. And you can figure how the rest of this comment section is going to go. Personally, I think it's a positive. You see the systems out here, and then I don't know if, Xbox is looking to be number one in Japan. It's nice to see that they have a footprint there. And that also kind of bleeds into the other discussions about the future of the brand, which we're going to have to do a lengthy episode on here when we can discuss it. There's a lot going on out there, and a lot of the posts that we talk about today are going to kind of get into that more. So the second post today has to do with Indiana Jones. If you're playing it, it seems most people are loving it. And it's a kind of an opinion piece, and I didn't really like it at first, but I read it, and it's pretty well written. I often am suspect of pieces like this because I feel like people are kind of tapping into the doom and gloom for clicks. The title here is Why Xbox's Indiana Jones is Just What the Video Game Industry Needs to Salvage 2024. So this one took an opposite lane and it kind of said Xbox knows that they can't win the console race. The article is written by Variety, and it's hosted here on an archive site. So I hope it wasn't paywalled, because if so, that brings up some ethical questions and we might have to investigate that. The first user here, I'm not going to read their name, says, wait, what? I've been hearing awesome feedback for this game and it deserved that, honestly. But this article literally seems fishy. Do they know the other good games that released in 2024? The article actually gets into this a little bit. And according to the author, they claim that they don't think 2024 has been that great for AAA releases. KES Monkey says, yeah, this article is weird, in response to that first comment. It mentions Star Wars Outlaws' disappointing sales and the failure of Suicide Squad, but it ignores that many great AAA games released this year. So they're kind of tearing into the author here and just like, what are you saying? Has it really been that bad? And I feel like that might have some credence. I think that they might have a basis there to question the author and to question, has it been that bad? Is Indiana Jones really the savior? I don't know if it is, personally. I thought it's been a pretty solid year myself, but I'm a indie and retro guy, so the AAA release schedule doesn't impact me as much as it might most gamers. Moving on from that, we have an article from Don Cabessa, who is Jesse Norris, hell of a guy, does a lot of great content for Xbox era. On the Xbox community, we do verify users. We would rather be upfront about it if somebody is posting their own content, as long as it's original, rather than using alt accounts and all this fishy stuff that we think is less transparent. So yes, we understand that people post their articles to Reddit to get clicks. We're real strict about the criteria here. We want original reporting, no clickbaity stuff, no YouTube, Twitter, X, TikTok, none of that kind of user content. We want sourced news, and this qualifies. I'm a big fan of Xbox era. I know they're controversial. I know people give them a bunch of stuff for their Redfall review and some of the scores, and then they're a little pro Xbox, but they're an Xbox fan platform. In their favor, they're independent. If you look out there right now, you'll see a lot of media sources, gaming media sources, that are getting consolidated. They're getting sucked up under the IGN umbrella, or other big media companies out there, and that makes me look for more independent reporting, because I don't want everything to turn into kind of the same soup, if you will. So I'm happy to see this article for a moment. Getting off that tangent about Xbox era, the story here is Empire of Ants, a game that is about maintaining the ant colony. I have not played it. They did a great AMA that you can look up on the Xbox community to learn more details about it. It's been spotted with Game Pass language, so maybe I'll get to play it. Maybe you all will too if you want to, based on the story here. Small if true is the top comment, which is silly. Right? Ants are small. I get it. Thanks, Dad. If true, thank gods of restraint, because here's a user, Dalum XP. They're saying basically that, sometimes if you wait, you get lucky, and these games come to Game Pass, and there you go. For me, a game, For the King 2, I didn't even know they were creating this game. Came out this week. Saw it dropped. It came right to Game Pass. So I enjoyed the original, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, if somebody had told me about this 6 months ago, I'd been waiting in anticipation. But no, it's here. It's right now. I just loaded up, and that's the best kind of surprise, isn't it? You just, oh my God, like a game I really love just showed up on Game Pass. Somehow I missed it in the announce. I read the news every day. I don't know. It's like a Christmas present to myself, I guess. Thanks, Game Pass. The next story up is the ROG Allies are on sale at Sam's Club right now. A word of warning about this one. The price is $379, down from the normal $479, but I believe this is kind of a first-gen system. There are not a lot of comments discussing this, but I think they're worth reading because they add some insight. Hawk KY says still not worth it with that processor. And, hey, this one's a little slower. Yeah, I think somebody says it's slightly better than the Steam Deck at the price. It's a good value, so you get a little debate there. But there is a newer model out. This is the Z1 version. I believe Best Buy has it for 350, which is an even better deal. Regardless, you're better off getting the Z1E. So there's a deal out there on the older unit if you want one. Some users are cautioning that you might want to just get the better one, spend a few more dollars. I'm assuming that it runs native games better. Is this a native? Hold on a second here. The Ally is just cloud gaming, I think. I'm going to be goofy up here. Sorry, guys. I don't know the exact details if it's a streaming device or not, but listening to users, they say the better one, the upgraded model, is worth a few extra dollars from the few comments that we have so far. I'm going to skip by a gameplay clip. I can talk of Indiana Jones. We're getting a lot of those. People are really enjoying sharing them, and again, it's a fun, fantastic game. It's there on Game Pass if you want to play it. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, it's worth checking out based on the buzz. You know, if you like Indiana Jones or if you like action adventure games, definitely get in there. The next story we have is an opinion piece. Was this the year of Microsoft's grand pivot? This gets into the platform direction, the stuff that we've been talking a lot about the last few weeks and maybe the last year, as Xbox has done a pivot, haven't they? As a platform. A lot of people are concerned about the future of the consoles right now. And a lot of people are excited about the possibility of what this openness of this platform, the direction they're going, what is going to bring to their gaming experience. So, in one camp, you seem to have people that they want the old model. They want their console, want to come home. They want exclusives, and there's a very valid point in case to be made that exclusives are a draw to your console, right? And they kind of want it like it's always been. And I don't really have a problem with that. I think those people have a good point. If that's what they prefer, who am I to say no, no, you're holding us back and that kind of stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of this back and forth, this tension between these two camps. The next camp, they're the people that are embracing all of this change, and they're saying, "Oh my God, I can play my games on my phone through Cloud Play and maybe natively with the Xbox Store coming." I'm not sure how that's going to work, but there's a lot of potential there. Lower spec games that could have native versions on phone through the Xbox storefront. Thinking of something like For the King I was just mentioning. I think that guy already has a mobile version. If we don't know how these platform wars are going to shake out yet. Third-party stores on mobile are still very new. I think Epic is the only one that really has one. That's a big name out there right now that are trying to launch it, and they're going in Europe. There's a lot of regulations in the States and Europe that differ. So this is still kind of like the Wild West, and that's why I'm a little more optimistic about Xbox and their plan here, is because these are uncharted times. The industry is changing. Your younger gamers they're playing their games in different ways. They don't necessarily want that plastic box. They want to play it on their phone and on their computer and on their laptop and as we joke, on their fridge. Maybe not on their fridge, but you get where I'm going with this. They like that accessibility. I'm an older guy, and I love that accessibility. I am bought in. I do have concerns about the viability, and I don't want to overplay them, though. I don't. I just, the console numbers are going to shrink. The console is not going to be the forefront of this product anymore. I think it's an important part. I don't think they can shutter the consoles and not seriously harm the other parts of this model, right? But first, let's discuss what this model is. The model is console, cloud, subscription, PC, and mobile. Those are the 5 pillars of what the Xbox platform is aiming to be. All of those parts should complement each other. So you play on console and say it's, hey, maybe another family member wants to use the TV. Well, you can pick your game up on your phone or your laptop and play it through cloud. If not now, soon, there is a lot of indication that you'll have your full library accessible through cloud. And I think that's a big step and an important step to make this work. So, but cloud play isn't that great, so not all the time. You don't want to play Call of Duty on cloud, Twitch games and stuff like that. So we look at something like Play Anywhere. This seems to be another part of the Xbox strategy. You'll see bigger developers and publishers like Square Enix and Sega have signed on with this. And what this means is you buy a game on your console, And there's a PC client built into the Xbox client. You can play it on there too natively. This includes handheld platforms that, not the streaming ones like we were discussing earlier, but the ones that will let you install the Xbox app natively. That opens them up to your library as well. And it all has seamless saves. I don't know another platform, even Steam and Sony, they're not doing this in entirety like the Xbox platform is. So at the cost of this and the detriment, according to some, is that it also means that they're letting go of the exclusives as a play after they just signed the most amazing stable of IP in the industry. I think it's Nintendo probably is unrivaled, but as far as other publishers like EA, Ubisoft, and formerly Activision Blizzard, right? Well, they're a part of Xbox now, and then you throw onto that the Halo and Obsidian, and it's amazing. It's astounding the stable of games that are available right now to the to Xbox, to the brand, and they've decided that bigger audiences are better. And you'll see this with other publishers too. Mentioning Square Enix, they have very boldly come out and said that they're not into exclusives as a leading direction for their games anymore. They think that it hurts the brand. And let me get into why this happens a little bit, maybe. A lot of people are just like, oh, well, you sell plenty of games, that's fine. But let's take a game like Final Fantasy, right? If you sell those games only to PlayStation, which is still a sizable audience, but you're still cutting off millions and millions of users on PC and Xbox and even Switch when it can support the games. Those people go out to see the concerts. Those people buy the merch. Those are people who will. I have a Cactuar sticker on the back of my vehicle, right? I don't know, random, right? But a little bit of that, little cut of that goes back to Square Enix. So it's not just about the games; it's about the brand and brand recognition. The more people that recognize Final Fantasy, we'll just use Final Fantasy as our example here. The more opportunity there is to grow it out into things like shows. We're seeing a lot of show spinoffs and stuff like that. That if you have more people interested in your thing, obviously that means that you have an opportunity to sell your thing to more people. So taking an exclusive paycheck might seem great up front. You get all that money up front, but long term, you could be damaging your brand. You could be damaging your franchise because you are. In the case of Square Enix of Final Fantasy, there is a generation of gamers that didn't get to play mainline entries. They missed 16 and the 7 remakes. Like those are the ever since 15, the last multi-platform Final Fantasy. Everything else has been really tight in. Even the pixel remasters for a while, and I was real worried there. But as a classic retro gamer, I grew up on those games. I'm so happy to see them on Xbox. So that gives some credence to the direction here. So this all kind of boils back into the grand subject here, which is more about what the hell is Xbox doing out there and why people are worried and why people are excited. It depends if you buy in on, is the industry changing, or are people still going to be, into their box? Say just your console. That's it. You play your games on there. I'm more into leaning into the future of the industry. So that was kind of a brief summary of that. And I'm sure many of you have differing opinions, and also the co-hosts up here are going to probably have some differing opinions too. This is what I've always wanted for my gaming. Just keep up with the technology. Don't be stuck in the past. Don't stick to, something that worked just because it works without looking at ways to improve or expand it. So, and I'm not saying that PlayStation or Steam or anybody's doing that. Let's look at Steam. They made their own handheld. Like these guys, they're looking for ways to expand their reach. And Xbox very clearly saw that it was not going to be in just the console space. But again, consoles are a big part of the soup. They can't get rid of them. It's one point of access to what we'll call the Xbox platform, where I think we're heading in shorter order than people are expecting. I'm going to more Indiana Jones stories. I haven't been with you for a few days, and the way this is sorting is kind of, I'm going to miss some big stories unless I do some power scrolling here. So I'm going to go real fast. One thing to kind of mention is EA Play is giving away a free piece of game content or game every day through Christmas for several days. They gave away like a Sims One of the Sims 4 packs, that they sell 1,000 of. They also gave away a full game that very first day. So if you come to the subreddit or watch your store page, I think somebody said that on the Game Pass page on your actual console, you'll be able to download that stuff for free if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber. I did air quotes for free for anybody that wants the asterisk. Trailer. We have version 5.3 of Genshin Impact. I know that is doing well on Xbox by early reports, so a lot of you seem to be enjoying that. And you forgive my silence here as I scroll, and I'm just like I said, we build this show off of what you bring to the community. So this show is really centered on the content that you want to discuss. We figured that we don't know the most interesting topics. If you send it in front of a group of people and let them vote on what they find interesting, then that makes some good talking points. So just kind of how we go. There's a kind of a nostalgia post that should have maybe been relegated to community weekend. Say, man, I miss these old arcade games. Xbox Arcade was really a good time when the Xbox 360 first launched. Some of my first purchases were there, including Gauntlet and Joust. Marble Blast Ultra is on this list, and many of you are right now just being like, damn it, I wish they'd make another one. They did make a kind of a spiritual successor out there, Marble It Up, worth looking up if you loved that game. Speaking of Play Anywhere, this is another story from Xbox era. This was submitted by Mr. Hipshot. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is now Play Anywhere. Use the Microsoft Store app, not the Xbox PC app. There's a lot of kind of hidden games like this. If you'll look in the wiki, we actually linked to another Xbox era article it's not an article, it's a spreadsheet, and it has all of the games that are available for Play Anywhere. If you're buying into this future, maybe those games get an extra point toward if you're going to purchase them or not because of that accessibility. Very cool to see more people signing on for it. Dynasty Warriors Origins, the preload is now available on Xbox. You can look that up. Download it now if you want to. Preloading is kind of weird, isn't it? I feel like I'd preload games and then like the day before it comes out, I was like, oh, I'll just re-download it again anyway. So I usually don't take advantage of that based on that kind of weird delivery system there. Like I don't see the benefit is what I'm saying. And if you're on like a metered or slow internet connection, sometimes it's better just to wait. Or maybe I'm speaking out of sorts here, and maybe it's worth downloading if you have a really slow connection and hoping that they hope for the best. Hope they don't make you re-download it again. Stalker 2 major patch 1.1 is here. A lot of people are playing and enjoying Stalker, and the game has been updated if you're looking into it. I'm not going to get into the details here because we do want to keep these kind of short. Sony is doing stuff. Kato Kawa is a anime. I probably just super mispronunciated that. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge anime fan, but Sony bought a big chunk of it. This is kind of concerning to some because I do believe that they have influence over Elden Ring and Bandai Namco to some extent. This is where co-host would be helpful because I'm going to kind of skip over that, even though I'm sure many of you are super interested in it. I know it is. I recognize the weight of the story, but I think the big takeaway is that you can rest easy. That doesn't seem they just became a major stakeholder in the company. It wasn't a complete takeover, so you don't have to worry about shenanigans with Elden Ring going exclusive or something like that. Like we can settle down basically. There are rumors out there that in January we might see an Xbox showcase. They're starting to pick up steam. I don't know if this is a case where somebody kind of said it. It was Tom Warren, I think, who originally I saw mentioned it, and then other people kind of were just like, where there's smoke, they kind of want to pile on and speak it into existence. So we'll stay tuned. January is right around the corner. Obviously, we're recording this on December 20th, so if you're listening later, it might even be sooner. I guess actually it would have to be sooner. If you're listening to this later, it's going to be sooner. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is IGN's best Xbox game of the year. I think that's fair based on user reactions. Xbox did have some big releases this year, but Indiana Jones seems the most positively received. Stalker 2 is already making money after 1 month of release. That's great news for them. If you're not familiar with the development saga, they're based in the Ukraine, and I'll let you connect the dots from there about maybe some of the challenges they faced. It's really positive to see them rewarded for that effort. There was news, and I'm trying to find the story here, and maybe I'll just kind of, well, yeah. We have news that next month, I believe, Lenovo is holding a handheld kind of gaming device event. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I had to click into my own profile. I'm sorry you had to see that. Microsoft VP of Xbox Gaming Devices and Ecosystem Executive, Jason Ronald. What a title. Holy cow. Like 8 words. He will be present at the handheld event, and that event is January 7th. Oh, that's kind of curious, isn't it? Why is the Vice President of Gaming Devices and Ecosystem exec Jason Ronald going to a handheld event held by Lenovo? So we're going to kind of keep tabs on that. It's also worth mentioning that Jason Ronald, after we just said that big title, he's getting a new title. And that title is simply VP of Next Generation, which I think makes this even more like, what is going on here? So we'll be waiting for that one and anxiously. I'm interested to see what the hardware is going, and I know everybody else is too, because that has a lot to do with the future of the brand. A lot of people are really worried about, oh my gosh, is Xbox gonna get rid of hardware and become a third-party publisher? I don't buy into that. I don't think there's any reason you should buy into that. They obviously are very focused on the platform, but coming out and announcing what the directions, what that's going to look like, would sure set a lot of people's minds at ease. So I think that I'm going to get out of here on this one. I actually hope to be back tomorrow with a few of the other hosts, the other co-hosts. It's been a while since we've gotten together to talk about things. Again, I know we've been absent for a while, but this is kind of 4 years of doing shows, and I think we're up to about 100 episodes. It's been a pretty fun time, kind of recapping and watching the Xbox brand grow and change over these last few years. So we will be here to keep watching it into the future. And again, if you have any comments, maybe you want to be a part of the show, maybe you have a question or a story that we should talk about, feel free to contact us at Xbox on Reddit at gmail.com. It's spelled just like you would assume it would. I'm not going to spell it out for you. I do want to say happy holidays for whatever you may celebrate. Like I said, we might meet back here sometime tomorrow, maybe next week. We're trying to do these more frequently. So I appreciate everybody out there who comes and visits the communities and also who takes the time to listen to this madness. A couple of community highlights to point out. We are still giving away controllers. So many controllers. We're on week 3. We're giving away another batch of 10. You can enter right at the top of the subreddit, looking at the community highlights, or stickies as they used to call them. You can also see a previous winner there, who I will pull up on video for you. You can see the goods in the wild. It's a cool. Oh my god, this is like a 80 megapixel picture. I blew it up, and there you go. That's the Terabyte Series S, that user Rubber Duck Ear one. Topped with the controller that they designed. That was the first leg of this contest. It's a spiral themed, orange metallic D-pad, lots of bright orange, lots of spiral colors. And if you put it next to a picture of spiral, it really pops through. So we also have, on another note, Game of the Year voting, our community awards happening now. And we invite you to participate there. We will have a show to discuss the results and the voting and the nominees, and we'll debate it ourselves. The categories are best live service game, best DLC expansion, best story, worst game of the year. That's a fun one. And overall game of the year, best indie. The typical categories, but just Xbox centric. So the more you vote, the more accurate our results are. So this is our 12th year of running a game of the year vote. Last episode, I discussed the past winners, and I'm sure we probably will again as we announce this year's winners. So I hope everybody, again, like I said, have a great holiday, and we will talk to you again soon. I'm getting out of here. Peace out. Thanks so much.